Today we are at COCA for our inaugural Cultura Research, Arts, and Culture Conference. We have brought together major research studies, national studies of our creatives here in St. Louis, our arts organizations in St. Louis, as well as the national arts and culture landscape to better understand how we can advocate for the arts in our local community, how we can support our artists and arts organizations. So Cultura is our first conference where we're bringing research, arts, and culture together.
But ultimately, we're talking about capturing data of all the expenditures of organizations that participated, 233 organizations to be exact, and about 1,970 some odd attended.
Arts and Economic Prosperity 6. And so this is the 6th iteration of this research project that started roughly about 30 years ago. And the Regional Arts Commission has been a part of it for all 30 years as a partner to the Americans for the Arts. But in addition to that, we'll be talking about what the data collection looked like for St. Louis. So we'll get a really good idea of the economic impact of arts and culture organizations for the region. And that impact looks like $868 million, right? So that means that without their work in creating events and making this such a wonderful arts town, I don't know if we would have had $868 million re-spent the way that it was. They make a special contribution that is something that we can actually measure, something that we can actually calculate. And I'm so glad to be able to present that information today.
Randy Cohen is the VP of Research at Americans for the Arts. They're our partners in the Arts and Economic Prosperity Study. And he says, no stories without numbers, no numbers without stories. And it's so important when we talk about the arts and the creativity. Sometimes we get caught up in the story, but we forget about the true impact, the measurable impact, the lives that are changed, the resources that we are bringing to this community. And so it's important that we have both the data and the stories, and that's what Cultura is designed to do.
I'm here today and I'm excited to participate in the launch of the AEP6 study. It's known as the Arts and Economic Prosperity Study number 6 within the St. Louis community. I think it's going to give the decision makers, the leaders in this community, along with the art patrons, the information that says that arts truly do make a difference. An investment in art is an investment in the economy, investment in the well-being of the community. It's just not a highbrow kind of arts perspective any longer. And for this particular area, I think the data is going to demonstrate that the investments that have been made in the past are paying off and will be very, very useful. One of the exciting things about this study was not just the results, it's how this particular study was done and how it interacted within the community. For the first time, you'll see much more of BIPOC community data inside of that. So what we'll learn is what that contribution is by BIPOC community organizations as well as the traditional organizations. And what that will also allow is the investment now in those communities to get that higher return. I think it's going to really profit the entire community as well.
So on our website, racstl.org, we have the Arts and Economic Prosperity Study, the Creatives Count Study. So I really encourage residents, visitors, anybody who loves the art to read these studies to get a deeper understanding of what it's like to be an artist in our community. There's some wonderful stats and data and information about how positive artists are and how optimistic they are about being in St. Louis. And there's also some realities about the tough challenges that they face. And I think the more informed we are, the better we can support. I'm really proud of what RAC is doing. This is just one of several things that we have done this year to really uplift our artists and position them as the entrepreneurs and business owners that they are, and really having a positive impact on the region. I know arts is a healing factor for many people, and it brings us together. I think arts and culture organizations are well positioned to unify this region and move us forward together.